guys, so welcome to the channel. I wasn't even sure if I was going to be doing a video on this, but after talking to several people, every single person said, yo, make a series on this, please show us how you do this. This is going to be awesome. So this is my current project. Here we go. This is a Yamaha Majesty 400cc liquid cooled scooter, and we're going to be taking that 400cc unit off of this Yamaha and putting it on a Ruckus. Not this one in particular, but one like this. I just have this guy out here just so I can do my measurements and testing, make sure things are going to fit, and it will. We're going to be shoving about 50 pounds of potatoes into a 3-pound potato bag, but it'll work. I think I have some hammers that are big enough out here. Anyway, so this being the first episode, I've already gone through and I've removed a lot of the plastics back here just so that I could get access to the motor and just see exactly what it is that I'm working with. This is a beast of a motor compared to the Ruckus. This guy has 2 air boxes. Yes, 2 air boxes. Hopefully today I'm going to be working on removing both of the air boxes and doing some style of intake. I'm not sure if it's going to work, but that's why I still have the motor and everything in here so that I can kind of poke and prod and see what works and what doesn't. Because right now, as it sits, it runs and it drives great. And as long as I have a great starting place, like it is, then as I go through and I start removing things, I can actually check one at a time to make sure that nothing is actually negatively affected by this. A little bit more about this motor. Like I said, this is the 400cc motor. It is liquid cooled. It has the radiator up here in the front. I'm not sure if you can even see it, but yeah, it's back here. And there's, you can't even really see it from here. How did I see it before? Anyway, there's a really big fan on the back side of it too. So hopefully I'll be able to find a home for that over there on the Ruckus. But this motor is, I believe, 34.5 horsepower compared to the Ruckus, which I think is what, 4.5 horsepower. Gets you to 0 to 60 never, unless you're in the back of a truck. This has 0 to 60 of, geez, I'm not even sure about that. I guess I should have looked at it before. Speedo here says 120. It doesn't. I've seen reports of people, doing 90, 95 with these. But this donor motor in particular has, let's see, 10,821 miles on it, which at first I thought was a lot, but it's not. It really isn't for this motor. So anyway, today's task, try to remove both of these air boxes, see what diameter throttle body I have. I believe it's a 38. From the information I've seen online, it says it's a 38. But we'll see. I actually have some 38 millimeter radiator hose over here that I just took off of my truck that I might use just to test it all and see if I can make it work. And as long as the motor is happy with the setup that I do, then that's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna run that. So giant airbox gone, should free up so much space. It's gonna look a lot better. Now, as far as how that is going to fit into there. So I've been measuring back and forth constantly. So here on the Ruckus, the front of the engine sits here. If I keep the Majesty's engine starting right here, that will put my engine mount location here underneath of this bar. And then, so let's see, the engine mount starts here, and then the center line of the rear tire comes to about here. I think that might work. However, with this bar being here, I do believe the Majesty's engine will have to start about here. I'm not 100% positive yet, so it might sit here, which would then send the, let's see, we've got a few inches here, we got this much, so the center line of the rear tire will be back here, about where this part of the license plate bracket is, which would give it actually a pretty nice stance. And then the rear shock coming off the Majesty would be sitting about here. So then I'll need to have pretty massive shock extension. Because the way that the shock sits, if I leave it in this location, then I'm only going to be able to angle this shock forward a small amount before it starts hitting on things. Once again, I could probably go with a different shock though and get some more clearance. It's just something to think about. Now, on this bike, the rear disc brakes are on the exhaust side. So if I'm going to retain the Yamaha's disc brake system, then I need to keep the swing arm on this side of the motor, which I know a lot of Ruckus people will be like, oh no, switch it over to the other side. Maybe, we'll see. I want to actually get this switched over to the Ruckus first, and then I can start worrying about the beauty aspects of it. I just want to make sure that it's functioning correctly, because there's a lot that I'm gonna have to figure out and fabricate, especially as far as the radiator is concerned. I'm gonna have to figure out where that's gonna go, and then, like I said, this intake system, because this is unruly. This is too much. It's too much for me. So, yeah, I'm not really sure what else there is to talk about at the moment. Now, for the Ruckus people saying, oh man, you should throw a fatty on it. Dude, this thing's already pretty wide. I think it's a 7-inch wide tire as it is. Maybe, let me see. These tires are all kinds of cracked. I'll have to change these out. So we've got a 150/70/13. So I think I'm going to keep it that size. The other thing I would also like to do is also use the Yamaha's front wheel. I would like to use the front wheel and disc brake setup, forks, everything off the Yamaha. So I will have to have this triple tree adapted to fit the Ruckus, if I so choose to go this direction. I'm not 100% sold on it yet, but it would be nice to have the matching wheels, even though you can't really see it too much in the back. The front wheels are actually, they're not too bad. So that's about it for the moment. Yeah, this, oh, and a little backstory on the actual Majesty here. This one was bought from Copart. It was wrecked in, I want to say 2012. So 10 years ago, this was bought, or this was wrecked. It was junked by insurance, sat at Copart, someone bought it, and then it just sat in their barn until I got it. So, junk title. So this guy's never going to be on the road again as a Majesty. But as a Ruckus, we're good. This thing flies. I've only ridden it a little bit, but for as big of a bike as this is, it straight gets it. As opposed to that, which, yeah, will get you there eventually. So, all right, here I go. I'm on to figuring out all of this nonsense for the intakes. Here we go. Step one is going to be finding a pole, because I could take the seat off, but have a feeling with as much stuff as I'm going to be changing, I will want to be testing it a lot. So if my bar ends up failing me and I find it more of a problem than a help, I'll just take the seat back off. I mean, my bolts are just finger tight as they are. So anyway, back in there. All of our clamps here use, let's see, 3mm Torx, I believe. Anyway, that's what I've been using. So let me get all this off here. Oh, and also for anybody wondering, these airboxes are ridiculous. Anyway, there's 3 screws up here, super easy to get to. You've got one right here, super easy to get to. Oh, where are the others? Behind these stupid covers. And when I say behind, this little round one here is more of just an eyesight. Well, I mean, this screwdriver obviously isn't long enough, but I don't even know if you can even see in there. No, it's too dark. Anyway, it's all the way in the back. Same with this one. You have to actually come up from the bottom. That's how I've been taking it off. Here we go. Okay, so now the front cover of this airbox is off. It leaves it with this nasty old air filter. I'm really surprised the bike ran as good as it did with this thing. Oh boy, well, you can still see a little yellow to it. Well, yeah, anywho. So here we go. So now to get this off, we've got a couple Torx. Let me get to it. All right, so I got those Torx out. Now, let's see what else we have to take off. So we've got this guy here. I have no idea what this is yet. I will dig into it. I don't know if this is actually required for this bike to run or if it's part of the emission system. This one is a vacuum up here for the throttle body. And this guy here is the air intake temperature sensor. So when I do make an intake tube, I will have to at least have these two. And there is another hose here, which once again, I do not know where that goes yet, but I will figure that out when the time comes. So let me just finish unhooking these guys here. Hose 1, hose 2, hey, you just said hose. So let's see, let's get the sensor out of here. Ta-da-ta-da! Cool. Let's see, I might save that grommet to use. Did I loosen that up? I loosened it up a little bit. Let me loosen that the rest of the way. Hey, cameraman, where are you pointing the camera? I don't know. Yeah, I know. Sorry, guys, my cameraman is new at all of this. Don't be too hard on him. Whoa, hey there. My old granddaddy long legs. Come on, buddy. You just get out of the shot. All right. Well, there's boom, got some of it. Whoa, all right. That is a heck of a tube. Tube man, tube man. How do you have such a tube there, man? Where you go, I don't know. Tube man. Tube. To-do. Alright. Well then. Forget it. Oh my gosh. Whoops. Hold on. Okay, round 2. I just pulled harder. Got the whole thing out of there. So, let's see. That leaves us now with taking this other airbox off. I'm assuming the process is just like the other one. Haven't tried it yet. Here we go. Bada bing, bada boom. Just like butter. All right. And yes, that air filter was just as bad, if not even worse, than the other one. Had a bunch of mouse crap in there. That was fun. All right, so man, look how much more space there is in here now. That's great. Yep, that's exactly what I needed. So now we also have a better view at the engine mounts. So on the case, why do I have 2 screwdrivers in my hand? Because why not? So let's see. We have 2 actual case mounts. We have this one here, and we have the other one here. And then the actual engine mount itself is, I believe it's in actual 2 pieces. So you have this outside piece that runs up to the frame over here, that has bolts going through it. You have the center section of the mount, which has 2 bolts that go into the side of this engine mount, and same thing over on this side. That gives me lots of options as far as mounting this over there into the Ruckus, because I don't have to follow this engine mount exactly, but it is a good reference for me. How we're going to do this, I still don't know. I might try reaching out to one of the Ruckus shops that makes engine mounts and see if I can send this over to them. Oh, what do we got here? So this, ooh, what does this go to? That looks like it goes down into the case. So this is going to be a breather probably then for this case. Let me see if I can just pop this off. That's it. A little bit of oil on there. Cameraman, hey man, can you get some stuff in shot for me? Ah, sure. Let's see. So, what? Yep. So, well, that is just, it's just a hollow box. There's nothing in this. All right, so this is just going to be a breather tube. Fine, no big deal. We can fix that. Yep. It is not a one-way valve or anything. So that shape, I would have to assume, would allow some oil to spit up into here, but then based on the shape, it wouldn't be enough for it to suck back into the airbox, possibly. In the bin. Let's see. But now this, what exactly does that even go to? It's down in the depths of this engine. Well, where does it even go? All right, so it goes to this thing. What is this thing? I do not know. That, you know what? Does that do that like exhaust recirculating thing? And as I look, hey cameraman, why don't you shift over to some B-roll or something? I don't have any of that. Well, then I'm just thinking out loud. All right, give me 1 second. Be right back. All right, pull my piece back out of the bin for the moment. I just want to keep it on there just because I don't want anything going down into the engine. So let's just keep that on there for the moment as I'm messing with everything else. Okay, so now let's test fit something onto here and see what we can make happen. All right, so this is kind of what I was thinking about for the intake. This is just, let's see, a section of radiator hose from my truck that I just replaced, so it was just leftovers anyway. 38 millimeter radiator hose with this 90-degree elbow, and then I will get some kind of a pod filter kind of deal to go there. And I know this pipe definitely isn't the nicest looking. That's okay. All of this is just testing. Once I confirm that everything works as it should, then I can go through and I'll get something a little bit nicer. But right now, we just need to make sure that it's functional. That is it. So I believe I don't really need this hose. This one needs a breather. This one I do need because it's going to pull vacuum for the throttle body, which I haven't opened this up. I'm just assuming that it's got a diaphragm in there that raises and closes based on pressures or the vacuum from the intake. So yeah, so that's where I'm at. So I'll need to get this hooked into this, and you to do that thing, and you to do brain malfunction. Anyway, this guy can go in there. However, just for testing purposes, that should be fine. that. So what can I do for testing purposes? Let's make that work. I'll think about it. I'll be right back. All right, so I was lucky enough. My neighbor had these two different filters here for me to test out. So the smaller one, turns out, fits perfectly inside of the 38 millimeter tube. Perfect fit. This one may work. If I'm thinking about it technically, okay, so this opening is going to be roughly the same size as the opening of the throttle body. Do not know how many CFMs this flows as compared to the stock one. Now this guy's much larger, but this filter fits on the outside of this tube. Well, it will. I just need to stretch it a little bit. Where am I going to start? Well, I still have not found anything to adapt that yet. Well, shoot. Hold on. Be right back. All right, so this is where I am right now. So I did find this. This is a piece of PEX tubing from the house, which once again is just for testing. So I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna put a hole right here in the tube, jam that in there. So then I'll have vacuum to this. We'll put another hole right about here for the air intake. This one I believe I can just cap. I do not know at the moment. I'll check once I get it running. And then I have two different filters to check. This one has a 38 millimeter outer diameter, so it fits this tube, fits perfect on the inside. And then this one will fit on the outside. It's going to be a little bit tighter fit. So I'm gonna give both of them a shot. Let's see which one does better, if I even get to that point. So back to cutting holes. Be right back. All right, boom, got it. So I've got a hole in here which is smaller than that, so I'll have a nice little seal on it. And then I've just placed that filter there just for the moment, and I'm leaving the intake temperature sensor there. Crankcase breather still open. That thing still unsure, still think it has to do with the exhaust. Not 100% though. That being said, I think I'm gonna start it. Let's see if it'll start. What happens when it starts? Let me remove my trusty stick. Hey, Mr. Cameraman, please get it together. All right. Oh, other brake, you big dummy. So I believe this is for the exhaust. It's got vacuum on it. If it's not for the exhaust, then I don't know. Then I'll address it. This one is crankcase breather. Air comes out of this one. So, all right, so now it's all hooked up. Here we go. I'm gonna give it a roll start. I have to hold the brake on this side. Just use the camera. All right. So everything seems good. So I'll tell you right now, I'm barely. Let me see if you can even get the throttle in this shot. Probably not. Hold on. I'm trying to see if I can get both the tire and the throttle so you can see the response, but I don't think I can. This works. This works great. I think this is going to be my solution, and yeah. Any of these Majesty guys, hey Majesty guys, if any of you all are looking for an intake solution to get rid of all these airboxes, I will try to compile a list. So, alright. Oh, let me just... Alright, I like it. Alright, till next time. So I ended that video way too quick. Hold on. I forgot I wanted to try this larger filter when it fit. Okay, well, spoiler alert, I already started it. I'll go ahead and just start it for you, but I don't think that this is a better option. I think the smaller filter is actually a better option. Let me start. Oh my gosh, I can't even reach. Hold on. So, alright, so here it is running with this filter. Whoa! Another filter went for a ride. So right away, the throttle response is not nearly as instant as the other filter. So that's telling me this one is actually letting in too much air. So I will be switching back to that filter. Now, that's the end of the video. I was like, oh yeah, I said I was going to try this one because it's a bigger filter. Hey, why not? It's probably better. Nope, the smaller air filter restricts just enough airflow where this motor is happy and it's spot on. I'm so happy with those results. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, questions, comments in the comments. And stay tuned for episode 2. I'm not quite sure what that's going to be yet, but it will be removing more things off of this motor to see what works and what doesn't. Alright, see you in the next video.